myself, Optometrist Jamal Khan. So I welcome to each and everyone in spirit of Optometry Season 5 on the behalf of Optometry Learning. So today we have a very beautiful topic on the dispensing. It's ABC of progressive additional lenses by our passionate optometrist Saif Ahmed sir, who is currently working with the Vital Vision. It is totally based on vision therapy. So please, Saif sir, unmute yourself. I am handed over this call to you and start your presentation now.
Sure. So, Ikhra, I'm audible?
Yes, you are audible, sir.
Great.
Thank you for coming, sir.
Yeah, thanks, Ikhra, for this opportunity. After a long time, I'm taking a session again.
Yeah,
So good evening, everyone. My name is Saif, and I speak in English, Hindi. I understand a little bit of Telugu and Bengali also. So I can communicate in English and India mix of English, you can say. And if you want anyone from the Andhra or the Telangana side, they can also speak in Telugu. So I hope everyone have understood this question and you chat box. Right. I can see many responses. But guys, what is your understanding by this question? Please type name in the chat box, and all the answers are wrong actually. So the correct thing is I wrote clearly, please type name. You just have to type NAME. You don't have to write your name, right? So the question was not please type your name in chat box. It was please type name in the chat box, right? So the correct answer for this is you just have to type NAME. Okay. So the message from this is like we always have to think outside of the box. We don't have to restrict our thinking. हमें अपनी सोच को बहुत छोटी नहीं करनी चाहिए. हमें out of the box सोचना चाहिए, right? And in the same way, whenever we are dispensing the progressive lenses, we have to read the mind of the consumer sometime. Right? Every customer is a mystery and you have to unfold the mystery, right? What the customer need, what the customer wants, right? So actually I am asking my need here from you. My need was to just type the name in the chat box, but every one of you have written your name in the chat box, right? So basically you did not understood my need. You have set into the assumption okay, this is a very common question and I will write my name in the chat box. Okay, and the same mistake we are doing while dispensing of progressive lenses also, right? So whenever we are dispensing of progressive lenses, we have certain assumption okay, this progressive lenses cannot be adapted to this power. Okay, customer cannot adapt to this power. He cannot buy this, he cannot buy that, right? So we all have to come out of that assumption and we have to think outside of the box and we have to understand what the customer need. So if you can able to satisfy the need of the customer, you can able to sell any product which you want, right? And this is one of the very basic definition of the selling or dispensing. Great. So my name is Saif. I have completed my optometry from LV Prasad Institute, Barcelona School of Optometry. Later, I also did my MBA from Lyansk State University, Russia. I'm a certified trainer from Essilor Academy, France. I also has been selected in the Young Leadership 2020. And I always believe we are a passionate student of optometry, right? No matter आपको कितना भी experience हो, आपको 5 years, 10 years, 11 years, आप हमेशा एक student हो, right? और जब आप एक student की तरह सोचते हो, you can do wonders, right? And whenever you are thinking, you are a regional manager, you are some regional head, national head, then you cannot able to give the fulfillment to your career, right? So always think you are a student of the optometry. It doesn't matter how many years of experience you have, right? So I always say I'm a passionate student of optometry, right? So currently I'm working as a regional sales manager I'm handling South India, and I am a conceptualizer for the optometry Keep It Simple. So I always believe we have to bring the optometry in the simple language, because I was a backbencher student. I was not so good in their studies. Most of the things I have studied is from my friends, right? Because friends will teach you in a simple way, which sometimes the faculty cannot able to teach you, right? And this is what we are doing in Optometry Keep It Simple group. So we have to understand the progressive from the three different dimensions, right? So what are the three different dimensions which you have to consider, right? First is our knowledge. Second is the manufacturers. And third is a customer or the client, what they need from us. Okay. So guys, if you want, any one of you want to repeat me in the Hindi, please, you can ask me, I will repeat in the Hindi also, right? So first dimension is our knowledge, right? Our knowledge is whatever we know is considered to be the our knowledge, right? And when we have the good knowledge on the progressive lenses, we can understand what the manufacturers are telling to us, right? So all the manufacturers, be it SLR, be it Zeiss, Nikon, Hoya, right? All the manufacturers, they manufacture progressive lenses. They will come to you. They will pitch their product to you, right? But how you will understand that this product is good for you or not, right? So unless until you don't have the basic knowledge of the progressive lenses, okay, these are the features or the benefit which should be there in the progressive lenses, you cannot able to question the manufacturers, right? Whatever they will tell, you have to buy it, right? मतलब मैन्युफैक्चरर्स आपको जो बता के जाएंगे, अगर आपको बेसिक प्रोग्रेसिव लेंसेज की नॉलेज नहीं है, आप कंफ्यूज हो जाओगे. अगर आपको बेसिक नॉलेज है प्रोग्रेसिव लेंसेज की, नहीं ये बेसिक बेनिफिट होना चाहिए प्रोग्रेसिव लेंस में, आप मैन्युफैक्चरर्स को क्वेश्चन कर सकते हो, राइट? एंड द थर्ड इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, विच द कस्टमर, पेशेंट और द क्लाइंट, राइट? So whatever we are doing, right, whatever we are learning, whatever the manufacturers are manufacturing the progressive lenses, it's all because of this satisfy the need of the patient or the customers, right? और जब भी हम लोग कस्टमर या पेशेंट से बात करते हैं, हमें हमेशा बहुत ही सिंपल रखना चाहिए. जितना ज्यादा हम लोग चीजों को सिंपल रखेंगे, इट इज वेरी गुड फॉर द कस्टमर और द पेशेंट. आप जितना ज्यादा टेक्निकल में जाएंगे, वो उतना कस्टमर्स को कंफ्यूज करते हैं, राइट? सो ऑलवेज आप सोचिए कि आपको हमेशा सिर्फ बेनिफिट बताना है कस्टमर को. कस्टमर इज ऑलवेज इंटरेस्टेड इन द बेनिफिट. ही डोंट वांट टू लिसन ऑल द टेक्निकल एस्पेक्ट्स, राइट? बिकॉज टेक्निकल एस्पेक्ट्स आपको पता होगा, लेकिन उससे कस्टमर्स को क्या बेनिफिट है वो आपको जानना जरूरी है, कस्टमर्स को, राइट? So I have few pictures in this slide. You just have to reply in the chat box ki how many of you are using this in your daily life. Okay, so how many of you are using this postcard? Can you reply in the chat box how many? No, right? Almost no one is using this. Okay, how many of you are using this landline mobile? Okay, majority of the answer is no. How many of you are using this Nokia mobile? Okay, great. How many of you are using transistor radio, which was your? Okay, so yeah, Amit is using all these things. Great. Great. Good. So it was good, right? So all of you understood that we are not using all these things, right? Why we are not using all of these things? Because all of these things are now is into one device, which is called as a mobile phone, right? We can send a message, we can do a calling, we can listen to these songs, right? So our lifestyle has changed a lot, right? Earlier our lifestyle was different, but now our lifestyle is different, right? So what do you understand by the lifestyle? Lifestyle means whatever the distance which our father or grandfather was using to write it, to dial a phone number, right? To listen to this song, that all working distance was different, right? But now our working distance has been changed drastically, right? We are using laptop at a different working distance. We are using mobile at a different working distance. We are chopping vegetable at a different working distance, right? we are withdrawing money from the ATM from a different working distance. Okay, so our working distance has basically changed, and this is what our lifestyle has changed, right? So, but are we upgrading the lenses as per the visual need? The answer is partially yes, partially no, right? Because अभी भी हम लोगों को ये समझ में नहीं आया है कि हमें प्रोग्रेसिव लेंसेज देना क्यों है, और और कंज्यूमर को अभी तक ये समझ में नहीं आया कि हमें प्रोग्रेसिव लेंसेज देना क्यों, राइट? सो ये जो दो मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग है ना, ये मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग को हमें सॉर्ट आउट करना है, राइट? इसका गैप जो है हमें कम करना है। सो कस्टमर को समझना चाहिए कि उन्हें प्रोग्रेसिव लेंसेज की जरूरत क्यों है, और आपको ये समझना चाहिए कि हमें प्रोग्रेसिव लेंसेज कस्टमर को देना क्यों है, राइट? सो हम हमेशा ये मिस्टेक करते हैं कि हम लोग बहुत ज्यादा इंटरमीडिएट वर्ड यूज करते हैं जब भी हम लोग प्रोग्रेसिव लेंसेज देते हैं, राइट? एंड इंटरमीडिएट एक्चुअली कंज्यूमर को समझ में नहीं आता है बेसिकली कि व्हाट एक्चुअली द इंटरमीडिएट इज, राइट? So intermediate always try to correlate with a consumer lifestyle. And आप जब पहला क्वेश्चन पे जाएंगे, जब मैंने पूछा था कि प्लीज टाइप नेम इन द चैट बॉक्स, जहाँ पे आप लोगों ने मिस्टेक की और आप लोगों ने अपना नाम लिखा, राइट? सो आपको कंज्यूमर से बात करनी है, राइट? आप जितना ज्यादा उनसे बात करेंगे, जितना ज्यादा आप उन्हें अंडरस्टैंड करेंगे, आप उनका इंटरमीडिएट जो वर्ड है ना, वो आप कंज्यूमर के लिए सॉल्व कर सकते हैं, राइट? So maybe consumer will say ki no, I am a software engineer, or they will say ki I am a housewife, right? So housewife, generally we deny a progressive lenses, but housewife or the housemaker are also the one who needs a progressive lenses, right? Because whatever the work they are doing, our mom, right? They are at intermediate, right? That means chopping vegetable, it is not near, it is not distance. Cooking vegetable something on a gas stove, it is not near or it is not a distance. Taking something from a kitchen out of the shelf, it is not near, right? So most of the tasks which our mom do in the our home is a intermediate, right? So you have to correlate it, right? How you will correlate it? You have to ask the certain questions. Ki ma'am or sir, are you finding it difficult to withdrawing money from the ATM? Yes, I am finding it difficult to withdraw money from ATM, right? I am finding it difficult to chop vegetable in the kitchen. So then you can pitch a progressive lenses. This can be solved with the help of the progressive lenses. So, and this is called as a visual need, right? So ultimately what you are doing, you are trying to understand the visual demand of the customer, and then you are sorting out the need, right, with the help of the progressive lenses. Okay, so generally the most of the people actually they will say ki presbyopia is a age related, right? But I learned this fabulous 40 from Essilor. Essilor used to tell welcome to the fabulous 40 for all their progressive lenses, right? So ideally it is fabulous 40. You can start living at a 40 also, right? So don't restrict your hobbies, lifestyle, whatever you are doing till the age of 40, still you can continue it, right? So you don't have to think psychologically you are becoming old, right? It is a wrong concept. Okay, so you are entering into the fabulous 40. And I saw many optometrists, many sales associate at a hospital, at opticals, they say कि सर आप 40 के हो गए हैं, आपका एज हो गया है इसलिए आपका आया है. No, it is, you don't have to use this word, right? So you have to say it is very common, everyone has to go through this, right? And we have so much of the advanced technology of the lenses, which everything whatever you are doing till the age of the 40, you can continue your lifestyle and you can continue your hobby. Okay, so what are the corrective options? So you have a reading glasses, you have the bifocal, bifocal, cryptic bifocal, you have a multifocal contact lenses, right? And you have a progressive lenses. So we have to talk more about the progressive lenses. I will talk more about the progressive lenses now. Okay, so can anyone tell me which Nokia model this is? Anyone of you? 1100. Okay.
It is thus.
It is this. Okay. Good. So actually this model is Nokia 2610, right? So this Nokia 2610 was very much into the market, I think 10 to 15 years back, but we don't remember this, right? Why we don't remember this? Because we are not using it. It's almost become outdated. And in our lifestyle, we are not using anything which is more than 5 to 10 years old, right? You can take your cloth, you can take your smartwatch, you can take your shoes, you can take your mobile, anything, right? Everything we have updated. But what about our eyes? We are not updating our eyes, right? We are not updating the lenses. So which we have to focus on it. So how old is the bifocal lenses? Any guesses?
17 years.
17. Okay, it's not the right answer. Any guesses?
25 to 30.
So yes, Ayush, it is more than 100 years actually.
200 साल पहले.
Right. So it is invented in 1778 by Benjamin Franklin. Okay. So this is more than 200 years old technology of the lenses which we are using. Still, we are using it, right? So we have to upgrade ourselves. Right. So now coming to the very common myths which every customer have, every optometrist have in their mind. And this common myth is bifocal is easy to adapt and progressive lenses is hard to adapt, right? And this is a myth actually, right? So this is a journal, this is article which you can find in the Google. आपको ये Google पे मिल जाएगा. And this was published in the American Journal of Optometry, जहाँ पे it is proved, right, कि almost 11% never adapted to the bifocal, right? 17% took 1 week to adapt to the bifocal, 10% took 1 week to 1 month, and 7% took 1 to 6 months, right? And this is what we also tell in the progressive lenses. The progressive lenses will take only 1 week to adapt to the program, right? If everything is fine. And few will adapt even more quicker. Okay? So ये एक just हमारा psychological myth है कि bifocal बहुत जल्दी adapt होता है, but ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, right? एंड मैं आपको लाइव एग्जांपल देता हूँ. मेरे पापा को मैंने बाईफोकल लेंसेज दिया था, राइट? वो बाईफोकल यूज कर रहे थे. उसके बाद मैंने उन्हें प्रोग्रेसिव में कन्वर्ट किया, राइट? एंड कुछ दिन में क्या हुआ, उनका प्रोग्रेसिव लेंसेज टूट गया, राइट? एंड आई टोल्ड हिम टू यूज बाईफोकल लेंसेज फॉर 2-3 days. Still I given him the new progressive lens, right? And it was really difficult for him to climb the staircase and all, right? So for us, we will assume that it is very easy for the customer to adapt, but it is very difficult for the consumer to adapt to the bifocal lenses, right? So just take this out of your mind that bifocal is very easy to adapt, right? And whenever any customer is telling this, any optometrist is telling this study is a published study. You can search in the Google and you can easily find out this, right? And show this. Okay. Now coming to the image jump, the highest image jump is you will find in the bifocal, and the least was the executive bifocal, right? So as per me, if you will ask me, Kryptok bifocal is one of the worst optics of the bifocal. Executive bifocal was one of the best actually, with a 0 image jump, right? But still executive bifocal is out of the market, and still consumer take Kryptok bifocal a lot, right? Kryptok bifocal is the highest bifocal selling, right? So can anyone tell me what is the one reason why people take a Kryptok bifocal? Why not D bifocal, which is far better than Kryptok? Anyone? Why the sale of Kryptok bifocal is higher?
Because it's cosmetic.
It can be right answer. Cosmetically?
Cosmetically looks good.
Perfect. This is a bang on answer, right? So people take Kryptok bifocal just because cosmetically it will look good, right? So you can understand the market size of a progressive lens, because nothing is best in terms of the cosmetic look if you compare progressive lenses with any other bifocal lenses, right? But still people use Kryptok bifocal because of the cosmetic look, the only reason, right? And the second is a price factor. Okay. So now let's understand what is an image jump, right? So if you see there are two image, right? So one is a flat top segment, which is a D bifocal, right? So when you see the bifocal lenses, when we move our eyes in a bifocal, D bifocal, my eyes will move to the optical center of the reading zone, which is not very far, right? But when you compare with a round top or the cryptic bifocal, my eye have to move in the reading zone where the optical center is at the bottom, right? And we all know the image will move toward the apex and the rays of light will bend toward the base, right? So when you compare the D bifocal, the image movement is very less toward the base, right? But when you take the cryptic bifocal, the image which has to move toward the apex is a very high. H is very high in this, right? So this is the reason why in a cryptic bifocal, the image jump is very high as compared to the D bifocal. And when the image jump is very high, you will find it very difficult to climb the staircase, to walk somewhere, right? And to visit any unknown places, any mall, right? The consumer or the customer will find it very difficult, but they will not find any problem when they are in their surrounding zone, right? When they are at their home, they will not have any problem. But when they will go outside, they will have a problem in climbing the staircase, right? So what exactly is a progressive lenses? So in a simple way, progressive lenses is a lens which will give you the clear vision at all distance from far to near. You don't have to complicate this, right? You have a clear vision from far to near. Whatever will come in between, आपका distance से लेकर near तक आपका progressive lenses में वो clear रहेगा, right? And I encourage all of you, right, to use progressive lenses, right? Like आप लोगों में से कितने लोगों ने progressive lenses पहन के experience किया है? Although I know कि आप लोग 40 years के नहीं हुए हैं, फिर भी आप लोगों ने कितने लोगों ने experience किया कि progressive lenses होता क्या है? You can type in the chat box, yes or no. Yes. Fantastic. So I think most of you have experienced it, right? So जब आप लोगों ने प्रोग्रेसिव लेंसेज को पहना होगा, जब आप लोगों ने अपनी आंखों को साइड में मूव किया होगा, राइट? सो आपको ये एहसास हुआ होगा, यू विल आइडेंटिफाई कि इट इज नॉट एग्जैक्टली अ डिस्टॉर्शन, बट इट इज अ स्लाइटली ब्लर विजन व्हिच विल हैपन इन द पेरिफेरी ऑफ द लेंसेज, राइट? And even for a single vision, right? I am a single vision user, and many of you in this call will use a single vision lenses, right? So whenever we are using any single vision lenses, we are majority of the time we are using the center part of the lenses. We are not using the periphery part of the lenses, right? But whenever we are dispensing a progressive lenses, we focus so much on the distortion that it will go into the consumer mind. The moment customer will take a progressive lenses, the first thing they will do is they will look in the side and they will say कि नहीं यहाँ तो मुझे अच्छा नहीं दिख रहा है, right? Because while selling the product, we only told the customer कि सर आपको साइड से अच्छा नहीं दिखेगा, राइट? आपको साइड में डिस्टॉर्शन होगा. आपको ये वर्ड जो है वो आपको लास्ट में बताना है, राइट? सबसे पहले आपको ये बताना है कि आपका डिस्टेंस क्लियर रहेगा, आपका नियर क्लियर रहेगा, आपका लैपटॉप क्लियर रहेगा, राइट? You have to demonstrate all these things. Then you have to say कि in the periphery part of the lenses, you will experience slightly blur vision, right? You don't have to use the word distortion, right? And majority of the time, then tell the consumer कि majority of the time, sir, whenever we are using any lenses, we are using the center part of the lenses. We are not using the periphery part of the lenses. I'm not using or my eyes or rotate my eyes to see any object, right? So always try to simplify the things for the customer, right? Understand in your own language, learn in your own language, and translate it for the customers. Yeah. So now my another question, sorry, I will ask a lot of question in my presentation. Who invented progressive lenses? Anyone of you? So just type randomly. Who invented progressive lenses? Fantastic, Shubham. Bernard, okay. Great. So these are very basic things which we know, which we should know actually, right? हम लोग ऑप्टोमेट्रिस्ट हैं, और अगर हमें ही नहीं पता रहेगा कि प्रोग्रेसिव लेंसेज किसने इन्वेंट किया, ये कब इन्वेंट हुआ, राइट? देन I think it's a half knowledge which we have, right? So whenever we dispense the progressive lenses or whenever any customer will take a progressive lenses, ideally it's not only a progressive lenses, right? You are selling a story also, right? और एक अच्छा प्रोग्रेसिव लेंसेज आप तभी दे सकते हैं जब आप एक अच्छी स्टोरी भी सेल कर पाओ, राइट? So Varilux is the brand name which belongs to Essilor International, and it was invented by Bernard Martinez in the year 1959, right? So the first progressive lenses was invented by Bernard Martinez in the year 1959, right? And it was named as a Varilux. And Varilux is the #1 progressive lenses brand in the world, actually, right? So vari means variable, and lux is the unit of the light, okay? And this is how the name Varilux came, right? Variable, lux, unit of the light, okay? And this is Mr. Bernard Martinez, right? So these are very basic things actually which we should know as an optometrist. Technical is one part, and there are many other parts which we should remember. Okay, so now let's get familiar with some progressive lenses words, right? So as per me, I divide progressive lenses into two parts. One is a science part and the second is the arts, right? So what is a science? Science is the design of the lenses, right? Progressive lenses is the beauty of the optics. Why I say it's the beauty of the optics? Because in one lens, you have a multiple powers and still I can able to use this, right? And this is how we can able to do this. It's just a beauty, right? In a single vision lenses, we have only one power in the entire, we have faced a lot of problem, right? Progressive lenses, one lens with multiple powers. It's such a beauty, right? How progressive lenses works, right? Factor influencing the field of view in the progressive lenses. So what are the different factors which will influence the field of view? मतलब क्या क्या ऐसे factors होते हैं जो मेरा field of view को कम या ज्यादा कर सकते हैं, right? Parameters which is required for giving a progressive lenses like PD, fitting height, effective diameter, minimum B size, right? So these are the parameters which is very important, right? So what are the importance of this parameter is this I call as a arts, right? So suppose I have prepared a very good presentation, right? I have a very good audience who have joined this call, right? Speaker is very good, who can speak very good, right? But my internet connection is not good. So ultimately, whatever I have prepared, you have joined, I cannot able to communicate with you. I cannot able to give my presentation. So in the same way, no matter how good the progressive lenses design is, no matter आपने कितना अच्छा रिफ्रैक्शन किया है, no matter आपने बहुत कॉस्टली लेंसेज कस्टमर को दिया है, बट अगर आपका पीडी, फिटिंग हाइट, इफेक्टिव डायमीटर, अगर आपने ये मेजरमेंट सही नहीं लिया है, एवरीथिंग विल गो फॉर अ टॉस, राइट? सो वो प्रोग्रेसिव लेंसेज कस्टमर के लिए अच्छा हो ही नहीं सकता है, राइट? सो हम लोग बहुत कॉस्टली प्रोग्रेसिव लेंसेज सिलेक्ट करते हैं, बट हम लोग पीडी, फिटिंग हाइट में मेस्ड अप कर देते हैं. सो देन इट्स नॉट अ गुड साइन. और जब भी हम लोग प्रोग्रेसिव लेंसेज डिस्पेंस करते हैं, विच इज कॉल्ड एज अ आर्ट्स, राइट? सो यू हैव टू चूज द डिजाइन बेस्ड ऑन द प्रिस्क्रिप्शन, which is ignored in the entire market. हम लोग prescription देखते ही नहीं है जब progressive lenses देते हैं, right? Second is we have to give a frame selection, which is very important, right? Considering the lifestyle, customer की lifestyle क्या है, considering existing glasses, we have to take a right measurement and the right expectation setting. Okay, so now coming to the science of the progressive lenses. So this progressive lenses you all would have saw, right? So there is a yellow marking on the progressive lenses, right? So there are two type of the marking in the progressive lenses, which is called as a permanent marking and a temporary marking. So this slide, I think this is one of the most important slide. And I think if you understand this slide, almost 50% of the progressive lenses you will understand, okay? So whatever you will see in the yellow, this is called as a temporary marking. And whatever you see in the white, this is called as a permanent marking. So all the temporary marking, once the lenses are fitted in the frame, this all temporary marking will be erased, right? All the permanent mark will be there on the progressive lenses, no matter the progressive lenses is 5 years old, 10 years old. जब तक customer use कर रहा है, वो permanent marking हमेशा आपके lenses पे रहेगा. Okay, so ये temporary markings के use क्या होते हैं, right? So basically all the temporary marking are used for the fitting purpose, right? For the remarking purpose, for attending the troubleshoot. आपने कस्टमर को प्रोग्रेसिव लेंसेज दिया, वो एक हफ्ते के बाद आया कि नहीं मैं कंफर्टेबल नहीं हूँ, Now, how you will identify कि उसका PD कहाँ है, fitting height कहाँ है? So this remarking of the temporary remarking will help you identify all these things, right? So first is a distance reference circle. So what is a distance reference circle? Distance reference circle is something where whatever the distance power you have prescribed, that should be covered inside this distance reference circle. So suppose your power is -1. So -1 should be covered inside that distance reference circle. It should not go outside of the distance reference circle. If it is going out, this means that you have the right to reject this under the QC. Next is a fitting cross. So fitting cross is something which is a PD and the fitting height. Whatever the marking, we are taking PD and fitting height. So it will make a cross. And this cross should match with my center of the pupil while fitting the lenses. Third is a prism reference point. Okay. And prism reference point is, I think, one of my favorite, and it is most underrated or the most misunderstood by most of the optometrists, right? So prism reference point is ideally, it is below 2 to 4 mm from the fitting cross, depending on the manufacturer to manufacturer, right? So ideally, what is a prism reference point? Prism reference point is used to check the prism which is grounded on the lenses, progressive lenses, right? So why we grind the prism on the progressive lenses? To make the thickness equal. So we all know progressive lenses has a different base from top to bottom because it has a different power. So we will grind base up prism in the progressive lenses, right? To make the thickness equal in the top and bottom. If we will not grind the base up prism, my lenses will not be the equal thickness, right? And there's a chances of the chip off of the lenses. So how much the prism that has been grinded in the progressive lenses, that can be identified as at a prism reference point, right? And ideally it is a 2/3 of the addition, right? Whatever the addition we have prescribed, the 2/3 will be up at a prism. Okay. And one more formula is 0.6 into addition. So through this two formula, we can able to identify how much is the prism. Now coming to the tolerance level, generally it will be around 2 prism, which can be tolerated by our eyes, and more than 4 prism cannot be tolerated, right? So if you ask me about the tolerance, when you put this prism reference point at the lensometer, it should not cross 4 prism diopter, right? It should be less than 4 prism. And the difference between the two eyes, it should be less than 0.5 prism, right? So that means suppose this eye has a 2 prism, this eye has a say 3 prism. Then this means that this prism will cause a vertical imbalance and I will not be comfortable. So most of the time, it will become very important to measure this prism whenever we are ordering a progressive lenses, and especially it will become very important when we order half pair of the progressive lenses, right? Sorry, guys, please don't scribble on the this. Okay, right? So this is very important. So you should measure the prism in the lensometer in both the right eye lenses and the left eye lenses, right? And then we have a near reference circle, right? So near reference circle is the near reference circle where all our near addition should be covered. Now coming to the permanent marking. So permanent marking, we have a micro etching, which is a 34 mm. From one micro etching to the other, it is 34 mm, right? And exactly at a 34 mm, that means 17 mm, you will have a prism reference point. Okay. So even if you don't have a marking chart, right, still you can remark the lenses. Guys, just give me a minute. Great. So the 2 micro etching is a 34 mm, and exactly at 34 mm, 17 mm, you will have a prism reference point, and just 2 to 4 mm above, you will have a fitting cross. So even if you don't have a layout chart to remark the lenses, still you can remark the lenses with the help of a micro etching and prism reference point and a fitting cross, right? Then we will have the addition power, we have a material, we have a logo. So all the manufacturers will have a different logo for them and will have a different material to show what material they have. So SLR will use a different things to write the material, like they will use P, pi, sigma for their different index. Zeiss will have something different. Lenskart will have something different. Titan will have something different, right? So everyone will use a different numbers to show what are the lens material it is, right? Now, so this is how the progressive lenses will look once it is get fitted in a frame, right? So you will have a fitting cross, you will have a prism reference point, you will have a near reference circle, right? And then you will have a blurry vision. So avoid the word distortion, always use the blur vision. Okay, so now whenever we listen to the word progressive lenses, right? So progressive lenses, we always think it is a distortion, it is a field of view, or it is a wide angle, right? But ideally it is more than that actually, right? So let's understand few terminology, and I think it is very new to few of you, and many of you cannot able to understand many things. But my only intention for all of you is you should understand all these terms, right? And whenever you get a free time, just Google all these terms and try to understand all these terms, right? So आपको ये terms शायद कुछ समझ में आए, कुछ ना समझ में आए, but it's perfectly fine. और आपको नहीं भी समझ में आ रहा है, तो आप प्लीज जब भी आपको टाइम मिले, आप गूगल पे सर्च करके आप इसके बारे में पढ़ सकते हो. ओके, सो सबसे पहला होता है सिलिंड्रिकल कंटूर प्लॉट, राइट? सो सिलिंड्रिकल कंटूर प्लॉट क्या होता है? ये आपका डिफाइन करता है शेप एंड विड्थ ऑफ द वेरियस जोन. मतलब मुझे कितना विड्थ मिलेगा प्रोग्रेसिव लेंसेज में, दैट इज डिफाइंड बाय द cylindrical contour plot. And whatever the lines you are seeing, each line corresponds to 0.5 cylindrical, right? हम लोग हमेशा बोलते हैं कि प्रोग्रेसिव लेंसेज में we will have an unwanted cylindrical power, right? So this all lines corresponds to 0.5 cylindrical power, right? एंड इसलिए जब आप एक प्रोग्रेसिव लेंसेज लेते हो और आप प्रोग्रेसिव लेंसेज के पेरीफेरी में जाते हो, तो आपको लेंसोमीटर पे आप देखोगे कि आपका जो सिलिंड्रिकल पावर है वो इंक्रीज हो रहा है, राइट? एंड ये इंक्रीज इसलिए होता है बिकॉज ऑफ दिस सिलिंड्रिकल पावर, राइट? आप जितना सेंट्रल पार्ट पे आओगे प्रोग्रेसिव लेंसेज के, उतना आपका सिलिंड्रिकल पावर आपका कम दिखेगा, राइट? एंड दिस इज द रीजन व्हाई आई ऑलवेज प्रेफर कि आपका फ्रेम साइज जितना छोटा रहेगा, उतना ज्यादा मेरा अनवांटेड सिलिंड्रिकल पावर जो है वो फ्रेम में कवर नहीं होता है. आप जितना ज्यादा बड़ा फ्रेम देंगे, उतना ज्यादा ये अनवांटेड सिलिंड्रिकल पावर वो फ्रेम में कवर होगा. और इवन मेरा हो सकता है कि 2 सिलिंड्रिकल पावर तक भी फ्रेम में आपका कवर हो, राइट? सेकेंड होता है स्फेरिकल कंटूर प्लॉट, राइट? और स्फेरिकल कंटूर प्लॉट मेरा क्या डिफाइन करता है? मेरा लेंथ ऑफ द कॉरिडोर, राइट? सो आपका मुझे कितना लेंथ मिलेगा प्रोग्रेसिव लेंसेज में, वो मेरा स्फेरिकल कंटूर प्लॉट डिफाइन करता है, राइट? देन होता है आइसो एक्यूटिव प्लॉट. आइसो एक्यूटिव प्लॉट क्या डिफाइन करता है? मेरा यूजेबल जोन, राइट? आप एक प्रोग्रेसिव लेंसेज लेते हैं, राइट? आप जितना पेरिफेरी आई रोटेट करके देखेंगे, आपका उतना ज्यादा ब्लर विजन रहता है, उतना ज्यादा मेरा विजुअल एक्यूटी जो होता है वो ड्रॉप होता है, राइट? सो अगर आप अपने प्रोग्रेसिव लेंसेज के पेरीफेरी से देखेंगे तो आपका विजन वहां पे ड्रॉप हो जाता है 6/15 तक, राइट? आप जितना सेंट्रल पार्ट पे रहेंगे, आपका विजुअल एक्यूटी उतना अच्छा रहेगा, राइट? सो ये डिफाइन करता है कि आपका यूजेबल जोन कितना है लेंसेज में. ओके, राइट? सो नाउ कैन एनीवन टेल मी, ये जो पहला लेंसेज है आपका, वो हार्ड डिजाइन है, सॉफ्ट डिजाइन है, या एडवांस सॉफ्ट डिजाइन है? यू कैन रिप्लाई इन द चैट बॉक्स. हार्ड, ओके, ग्रेट. आई थिंक ये इजी क्वेश्चन था. गुड. सो यू आर राइट. सो फर्स्ट इज अ हार्ड डिजाइन, राइट? सो हार्ड डिजाइन में अगर आप यहाँ पे ऑब्जर्व कर रहे होंगे तो यू विल सी कि यहाँ पे डिस्टॉर्शन जो है, राइट? और ये अनवांटेड सिलिंड्रिकल पावर जो है वो ज्यादा है, राइट? आपका जो नियर जोन है वो ज्यादा है, एंड आपका जो इंटरमीडिएट है, जो आपका कॉरिडोर लेंथ है, वो कम है. डिस्टेंस बहुत अच्छा है, करेक्ट? बट जब आप सेकंड डिजाइन में आते हैं, जो है सॉफ्ट डिजाइन, राइट? सो सॉफ्ट डिजाइन में जब आप आएंगे तो आप देखेंगे कि आपका पेरिफेरल जो है वो थोड़ा सॉफ्ट हो गया. दैट मीन्स अनवांटेड सिलिंड्रिकल पावर जो है वो थोड़े कम हो गए हैं. आपका इंटरमीडिएट जोन जो है वो इंक्रीज हो गया है, राइट? आपका नियर थोड़ा कम हुआ है, डिस्टेंस भी थोड़ा कम हुआ है, राइट? आपका यहाँ पे एडवांटेज क्या है आपका इंटरमीडिएट जोन बहुत अच्छा है और आपका पेरिफेरल डिस्टॉर्शंस और अनवांटेड सिलिंड्रिकल पावर जो है वो थोड़े कम हो गए हैं। हार्ड डिजाइन का एडवांटेज क्या है, आपका डिस्टेंस बहुत अच्छा है, नियर बहुत अच्छा है, बट आपका अनवांटेड सिलिंड्रिकल पावर ज्यादा है, राइट। नाउ अभी जो लेटेस्ट है दैट इज कॉल्ड एज एडवांस सॉफ्ट डिजाइन, राइट। सो एडवांस सॉफ्ट डिजाइन में क्या किया जाता है, बेसिकली we will take the good feature of the hard design, right? So what is the good feature of the hard design? Good feature of the hard design is a good distance, right? Good near, right? We have taken a good feature of the hard design. What is a good feature of the soft design? Good feature of the soft design is a good intermediate and the lesser peripheral distortion, right? So we have included this, and then we will come to the advanced soft design, right? So most of the progressive lenses which you will see in the market are in the good category, are advanced soft design, right? And that is the reason why now progressive lenses are very easy to adapt because of the advanced soft design which we have. Okay, so this is clear.
Yes, sir.
Great. So now we all know we used to do the topography of eye, right? And this is how progressive lenses topography will look actually, right? So if you see this, more the red area, the more the unwanted cylindrical, right? Okay, so if you see in the periphery part of the lenses, it is like 2.5 diopter of the cylindrical power which we have, right? So this is a hard design. When you see in this soft design, this has been drastically reduced, right? So this is around 1.5 diopter of the unwanted cylindrical power, right? So this is how you can compare the hard design and the soft design. Okay, now next come the symmetry and the asymmetric design. So what is a symmetric design? Symmetric design is something where we can rotate the lenses by 10 or 20 degree to fit into the lenses frame, right? So the best example for this is cryptoc bifocal. Okay, so if you see the cryptoc bifocal, the near zone will be in the center of the lenses, right? So that means if you rotate the lenses to the 10 degree to the right or the left, you can fit the same lenses in the right eye also and the left eye also, right? So what will happen if you rotate the lenses, right? So if you see here, we are getting the unwanted or the unequal amount of the cylindrical power in both the eyes, right? My one eye is having a different amount of the unwanted cylindrical power. My other eye has a different amount of the unwanted cylindrical power. So what this will cause, what is the disadvantage or the benefit is that, right? So whenever this will happen, this will reduce my binocular field of vision, right? So why this will reduce my binocular field of vision? Because my both the eyes, it's an unequal image is going into my brain, right? And brain cannot able to fuse it properly, right? And when brain cannot able to fuse it properly, my binocular field of vision will get hampered, right? But in the asymmetric design, which most of the progressive lenses is, we will get the equal amount of the unwanted cylindrical power in the right eye also, in the left eye also, whatever the gaze direction we have, right? Okay, sorry, my video is off. Okay. Okay, so whether I look to the right or to the left, right? So my gaze direction is always different. So when my gaze direction is different, I will look through the different part of the lenses. So in the asymmetric design, I will get the equal amount of the cylindrical power in the right eye also and the left eye also, and it will improve my binocular field of the vision, right? So this is very important, which we should know. Okay, and all the progressive lenses will have an inset, right? So what do you mean by the inset is, whenever you see a progressive lenses, the near zone or the near reference circle will always not be in the center. It is slightly toward the nasal side, right? So this is called as a inset, I-N-S-E-T. Okay, so inset is always 2.3 mm from the fitting cross. That means when you draw a straight line from the fitting cross of the lenses, inset will be slightly nasal, right? And whenever you have a multi-design, right? So multi-design is something like the inset will nasally and upward for the different addition, right? That means we are not giving one design for all the progressive lenses. Okay, so exactly what does it means? Like we all have a different body, right? Someone will use a small t-shirt, someone will use a large t-shirt, someone will use a XL, someone will use a extra small, right? So everyone will have a different requirement. So in a multi-design, what we are doing, depending on the addition, we are moving the insert nasally and upward, because as my addition is higher, my convergence demand will be different, right? Okay. So as per my convergence demand, my insert will move nasally and upward. And this is how it is called as a multi-design. So whenever you, any manufacturers will come to you, you should ask this, whether you have a multi-design in your progressive lenses or not. Multi-design by add, multi-design by power, and multi-design by PD, right? Okay, so this is how the multi-design concept will come. Multi-design by power, multi-design by add, and multi-design by PD. Okay, so if these features are there in the progressive lenses, definitely that progressive lenses will be easy for the consumer to adapt. So are you sure it is clear, multi-design? Okay, so now what are the different factors on which the field of view will depend on a progressive lenses? Can anyone write in the chat box? What are the different factors? So why prescription is very important while dispensing of progressive lenses? And the answer is in this slide. Good. Okay, so first is the addition, right? So if any prescription, if you see, and if you see the addition is higher, always go for a better design of the progressive lenses. Don't give a starting progressive lenses, because they are not going to adapt, right? We always say that in a 60 years of the age, it is very difficult to adapt to the progressive lenses, right? It is very difficult to adapt to the progressive lenses because in higher addition, my field of view or the amount of the unwanted cylindrical power is so high, it is very difficult for the consumer to get adapt to this, right? And this is called as a Minkwitz theorem, right? Higher the addition, higher the amount of the unwanted cylindrical power in the lenses, right? So always try to give a progressive lenses at a very early stage of the life, right? If I'm at a 40 years of the age, it's don't think first we have to give a bifocal, then they adapt, then I have to give a progressive lenses, right? It's a wrong concept actually. Second is the cylindrical power. So higher the cylindrical power, higher the amount of the distortions or the amount of the unwanted cylindrical power in the lenses, right? And this is the reason why if you see most of the progressive lenses manufacturers, they will have a 4 cylindrical power in their manufacturing, right? I think very few progressive lenses from Essilor, which I know they will manufacture till 6 diopter also, right? But most of the progressive lenses manufacturers, they will restrict their progressive lenses only till 4 cylindrical. Because if they manufacture with 5 or 6 cylindrical, their field of view will be almost nil actually, right? If my progressive design is very good, then I can go ahead and I can manufacture till 5 and 6, right? And I think Essilor has few lenses which they can manufacture till 5 or 6 diopters also in cylindrical power, right? So due to above 2 reasons, it's always preferred to recommend a better design progressive lenses for higher radiation and this cylindrical power, right? So whenever we try to convince a customer कि सर आप ये नहीं ये प्रोग्रेसिव लेंसेज ले लो, राइट? कंज्यूमर हमेशा ये सोचता है कि नहीं प्राइस की वजह से ये मुझे ज्यादा कॉस्टली लेंसेज दे रहे हैं, राइट? लेकिन जब आप उन्हें ये बताओगे कि नहीं सर आपका पावर थोड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है, अगर आपका ये पावर नहीं रहता तो मैं आपको ये बेसिक वाला डिजाइन दे देता, लेकिन आपका ये पावर है जिसकी वजह से मैं ये नहीं दे रहा हूँ, राइट? आपका पावर एडिशन थोड़ा हाई है जिसकी वजह से मैं आपको ये दे रहा हूँ। अगर आपका ये 1 डायप्टर रहता तो मैं आपको बेसिक डिजाइन दे देता, राइट? सो जब आप प्रिस्क्रिप्शन के अकॉर्डिंग अगर आप कस्टमर को एक्सप्लेन करोगे, दैट विल बी मच बेटर, राइट? एंड ट्राई टू understand through this practice. Okay, so great. So I think I have this only till now, because the art of the prescribing progressive lenses is another topic which will take another half an hour for me. So yeah, over to you, Akhra, for any questions.
So till now, anyone have any question?
Yes, I have.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, you
please
can
go ahead.
unmute yourself and you can ask.